In the Buddhist compound at the other side of the lake, the shamans do present offerings and chant songs before the exterior altar. They do not enter the Buddhist sanctuary to face the statue of the Buddha personally. According to the earlier amulet, which was prepared by the shaman who is being empowered today, he regards the Buddha as one of his helper divinities. Buddhist monks seem to have been attracted to this lake by the same hierophany. They offer their chants at the same promontory along the lakeshore. Both groups are paying homage to the Dragon King, who lives in the deep waters and who is believed to provide rain. The anthropomorphic statue of the Dragon King occupies the central position in the Taoist temple. And for this festival, an image of the Dragon King's superior, of the Thunder God, has been brought in to visit the temple. The funeral of Wang Fenglian. Wang Fenglian was the maternal grandmother of Zhang Shutang. She was 92 years old when she died in summer of 2003. In the grandmother's ancestral home in Chi village, a candle is lit for her, incense is burned, and printed ghost money is burned for her. Libations of tea and sorghum wine are poured on the clay floor. It turned out that during this particular year, the family graveyard, which happened to be aligned east and west, was ill-suited for a good burial. During this lunar year of the ram, the gods of good fortune were in the habit of traveling in northerly and southerly directions. It was decided, therefore, that the grandmother should receive a temporary burial at a location outside the family graveyard, in a grave that is aligned in a north-south direction. It also was agreed that at the first anniversary of her death, a day which needs to be commemorated anyhow, she would be reburied in the family's east-west oriented graveyard. Upon arrival at the gravesite, the coffin is unloaded and dragged to a ready position. The diggers would not come out of the pit until the relatives of the deceased dropped additional money to pay them for their efforts. There is some cajoling going on between the men who are responsible for the funeral and those who had been digging, regarding the latter's greedy expectations, all in accordance with established custom and humor. Food and drink are being offered to the ghost of the deceased, who is believed to be lingering nearby. Paper money, printed superficially as currency for the dead, was soaked by the rain and has nearly disintegrated. It is being loosened up for burning. Because the coffin had been transported over a considerable distance and over problematic roadways, the lid was lifted one last time to see whether the position of the body has shifted and needs to be readjusted. The coffin is rigged to a makeshift wooden beam, then slowly lowered into the grave. It is slid lengthways into the vault that has been carved into the earth. The Yin-Yang practitioner checks the coffin's north-south alignment with his compass, and the position of the coffin is adjusted accordingly. Thick bands of braided straw are layered for a column that blocks the entrance to the dug-out vault. East of these activities, the Yin-Yang practitioner intones the funeral chant, imploring the earth god that he might accept and protect the dead body. As soon as the vault is closed, the men are shoveling in full force to fill the pit. The sounds of wailing grow louder. Toward the end of the proceedings, some of the villagers fetch portions of sacrificial ghost money from the burning site to carry them to nearby places and to burn them separately as gifts for the ghosts of their own recently deceased, who, it is assumed, have assembled to join the party. The clothes of the dead person are burned separately. They had been her property all along and were not counted among the funeral offerings. Glimpses of Yin-Yang shamanism to be shown in part 2 of this project. In the summer of 2004, we celebrated Wang Fanlian's first-year anniversary of her funeral. The courtyard of her ancestral homestead was set up for a festive event. According to custom, the gods were approached at a makeshift tent sanctuary, and Wang Fanlian's ghost was entertained at her personal shrine, which was an improvised structure made of a table stacked on another. Elsewhere in the village, the god of earth was visited at the place where his temple used to stand. The temple had been destroyed by Red Guards during the Cultural Revolution. The earth deity was approached to obtain permission for digging a second grave. A food giveaway and food scattering ritual, shishi, was performed in the evening. Food is donated and scattered for all living beings to show the goodwill of those who sponsor the event, but also to persuade the invited gods to disperse their blessings on the people. Wang Fanlian's ghost, represented by her tablet, is hereby enabled to cross the bridge over Nai River in the Yin world without falling into hell beneath. She ascends to shine in the light of the gods, to be groomed for a while and serenaded by shamans. The tablet that represents Wang Fanlian is returned again